In 1975, an engineer at one of the most powerful companies on Earth built something that would change the world forever. A few months later, he carried it into a boardroom, set it on the table, and showed his bosses the future. They looked at it. They understood exactly what it was. And then they decided to lock it away. That decision would help destroy a company that had dominated its industry for a century. This is the story of how Kodak invented the digital camera and then spent decades too afraid to use it. Here's what makes this story so strange. Kodak didn't die because it missed the future. That's the myth. The truth is far more unsettling. Kodak saw the future with perfect clarity. It patented it. It even made billions from it. And it still couldn't save itself. By the end of this video, you'll understand the exact trap that destroys even the smartest companies. A trap that looks completely rational from the inside, right up until the moment it kills you. To understand how far Kodak fell, you have to understand how high it stood. For most of the 20th century, Kodak wasn't just a company. It was photography itself. If you took a picture, any picture, there was a near certain chance it lived on Kodak film, printed on Kodak paper, processed with Kodak chemicals. The company dominated film and camera sales in the United States for decades. It employed tens of thousands of people, and over its lifetime was granted more than 19,000 patents. The phrase, "a Kodak moment," entered everyday language. It meant a memory worth keeping forever. Kodak was so woven into daily life that it seemed permanent, untouchable. This was the company whose camera took the photographs of the Apollo 11 moon landing in 1969. But here's the part that matters most. Kodak's fortune wasn't really about cameras. Cameras were cheap, sometimes sold at barely a profit. Kodak made its money on what came after the camera, the film. Every photograph meant another roll sold, another roll developed, more paper, more chemicals. It was one of the most elegant business models ever built. Sell the razor cheap and profit forever on the blades. Kodak didn't sell cameras. It sold the endless need to keep buying film. Remember that, because it's the exact thing that would paralyze them. In 1974, a young Kodak engineer named Steven Sasson was handed a vague, almost throwaway assignment. Find out whether a new kind of electronic sensor, a charge-coupled device, could be useful for capturing images. He was given near total freedom because nobody expected much to come of it. What he built by December 1975 was extraordinary. A contraption the size of a toaster, weighing 3.6 kilograms, stitched together from a movie camera lens, 16 batteries, and circuit boards. It took 23 seconds to record a single black and white image onto a cassette tape. The resolution was almost comically low, but it worked. For the first time in history, a photograph existed with no film, no chemicals, no paper. Pure information displayed on a television screen. Sasson had built the world's first self-contained digital camera. In 1976, he demonstrated it to Kodak's management, and their reaction has become legendary. They weren't hostile, but they weren't excited either. They asked questions like, why would anyone want to look at their photographs on a television? And beneath those questions sat a deeper unease, because every executive in that room understood what a filmless camera threatened. No rolls to sell, no developing, no paper, no chemicals, no film. Now, the popular version of this story says Kodak buried the invention out of fear. The reality is more complicated and more interesting. Kodak didn't ignore it. They patented the technology in 1978, and over the following years, earned billions licensing those digital imaging patents to other companies. The honest truth is that in 1975, the device wasn't ready for any real market. It was slow, low quality, and there was no infrastructure to support it. So Kodak made a choice that felt completely reasonable at the time. Protect the invention on paper, but don't rush to build the thing that could cannibalize the most profitable business in the company. That single reasonable decision, repeated over and over for 30 years, is what doomed them. Here's the tragedy. The problem was never that Kodak couldn't do digital. They had the engineers. They had the patents. In 1989, Sasson and a colleague even built one of the first digital SLR cameras. And again, the company hesitated to sell it, to protect film. The deeper problem was structural. Every dollar of digital success meant a dollar lost from film. The golden goose. Picture being an executive whose entire career, bonus, and status are built on the film business. Now imagine being asked to champion the one product that makes film worthless. Almost no one inside that building had any incentive to kill the thing paying their salary. So Kodak hesitated. It half-committed. It treated digital as a side project instead of the wave that was about to swallow the entire industry. And the wave came anyway. In the 2000s, digital cameras went mainstream. Kodak actually became a top seller of digital cameras for a time. But the profit margins were nothing like the old film and print empire. Then smartphones swallowed cameras whole. Film sales didn't decline gently. They fell off a cliff. Kodak's revenue collapsed. The company began shedding tens of thousands of jobs. In January 2012, Kodak filed for bankruptcy. By then, it was trying to sell off about 1,000 of its digital patents just to survive. The very inventions it had pioneered, now reduced to assets sold for scraps. 130 years of history. The company that invented the technology of the future, brought down by that same technology, while its founding invention sat in a museum. It's easy to call Kodak's leaders fools. They weren't. They were intelligent people, trapped by an intelligent business. And that's exactly why this story matters far beyond Kodak. Economists have a name for what killed them: the innovator's dilemma. The very thing that makes a company successful, a dominant, profitable core business, becomes the thing that blinds it. Defending what makes you rich today feels rational every single quarter, right up until the day it destroys you. Kodak wasn't punished for failing to see the future. It was punished for seeing it clearly and choosing comfort anyway. The companies that survive are the ones willing to destroy their own golden goose before someone else does it for them. Netflix did it, killing its own DVD business to chase streaming. Apple did it, letting the iPhone devour the iPod. Kodak couldn't bring itself to do it, and that very human refusal to let go of what was working turned the inventor of the future into the most famous cautionary tale in business history. So the next time you take a photo on your phone, remember where that technology was born. It came to life inside a Kodak lab in 1975. They held the future in their hands. They even owned the patents to it. They were just too comfortable with their own success to ever truly let it out. If you want to see another giant that held the future and let it slip through its fingers, there's a company that was once offered the chance to buy its biggest future rival for $50 million and laughed it out of the room. That story's on screen now. I'll see you there.